guys, let's jump straight in, shall we? See what's going on. Never a dull moment in crypto. Never a dull moment, is it? Jump in, let's see what's going on. Keeping an eye on Sue, obviously. Hack going on with Sue. We're going to do the usual thing. We'll have a look at Bitcoin and everything else that's going on. I think Bitcoin is obviously cracking all-time high and is in price discovery, but we'll have a look at potential levels that we can come back to. Okay, and then we'll have a look at any other alts as well. A couple of alts finding supply, obviously. ETH find a bit of supply, Sol finding a little bit of supply, and then Sue getting absolutely smashed to bits. Interestingly enough, if you looked at the derivatives perps market on Binance Futures, in this zone, prior to the hack, it was heavily getting sold into. So someone knows something, don't they? I do often wonder if it is insiders manipulating. And anyway, let's not get our tinfoil hats on straight away, shall we? Yo, what's up, son? What's up, Vadim? And what's up, Max? Yeah, let us know if sound is all good in the hood. It should be. It's okay at my end. If it is, we shall proceed. So yeah, watching Sue. I thought it was one of the nicest altcoin longs. If you're looking for an altcoin long yesterday, I thought it was one of the nicest, to be honest, that one and DOT, but we'll have a look at that. So yeah, Bitcoin, all-time highs, price discovery, obviously, not particularly seeing a reason still to exit, short the market aggressively. Little dips, absolutely fine, but as you can see, even here, as you see Sol hitting the supply here, and it just still wants to, you know, kind of grind a little bit higher. So let's jump into a full screen and have a look at what's going on. So welcome in TRDR console, grab a link from below for a free trial, jump into the docs page, jump into the academy for all the free good stuff. So yes, Sue having a bit of a bounce now. I think this is going to be volatile for the next few hours at least, and I'm only just seeing a big level come in there at 3.5. I think 3.6, 3.5 is going to be value on Sue. Generally, these kind of DeFi or, you know, kind of on-chain hacks, they don't really do anything for the network themselves. Well, obviously the network has nuked, memes of nuked and stuff like that, but in general, does it affect the usability of the actual asset in the long term? No, not really. So it won't surprise me if this gets bid up back soon. But if you remember what Hype was like a while ago when Hype got hacked, volatile, bottomed, and then just back up and uponly.com. So we can have a look at that. But yeah, let's have a look at BTC then. 5-minute chat. Oh, 3-minute chat. Jesus, someone's been scalping. Someone's been scalping on the old 3-minute chart. Max says, when new ETH all-time high? Not for at least another 10 years, probably, Max. Nah, as we said on the last live, I hope ETH does well, but yeah, not sure. Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you what the all-time high is, but I know we shorted it in the TRDR Trader Socials. I think it was in and around when they had the upgrade. Was it in and around there? Anyway, it was full of supply and we all shorted it. So, but was it about 4K? 4K, yeah, I thought so. I'm not going to go look at it now. Right, BTC. Let's have a look at some data on BTC. The only thing to say is you are in price discovery, right? So, you're going to get price swings like, I mean, this was under the all-time high, obviously, or you just tick the all-time high. You got that one, and actually, it was about 2.8% drop in the end, I believe, actually, after about a 3.5% up move, 2.8%. You held the weekly open. Okay, classic TA lovers, get your levels marked. You held the weekly open and uponly.com. So, said to the guys yesterday in Discord, I said, well, this could be it for a little while. I went to chill out, get some nice sleep last night, woke up, and everything was up. So, nice to see it. Now, right here, right now, I do have to say, I would prefer pullbacks, obviously. Why? It makes for better trading. If you want any fresh entries on anything else, it's going to make it easier. You know, you don't just want to be market buying tops like this straight in, you know, at all, to be honest. It just makes for easier, better trading if you come back to value. So where can you come back to? Okay, so look, Your all-time highs here, I think we all know where that is actually the daily open as well. So if we can get under there, find a bit of bid, and then we just go again. You know, that just so easy, so easy. If we don't find a bid, leave it alone for a little bit. You know, maybe we have to come back down to the weekly open again or somewhere around there. You can see on the chart there's no major levels coming in to sit under price just yet, like there have been for the past, you know, couple of days. Spot levels chasing price up. Perps market was chasing price up as well, all the way up. Even yesterday, chasing price up, pushing up, volatility down, but we still had depth. We've still got depth now. Don't know what that is. That's not a top level, is it? So we've still got depth now. This is good, you know. Get worried when this depth goes. You know, like when you see this, it absolutely fades. Get worried when you see big spot supply above, so big red depth clouds above, yeah, and the perps market's just deathly quiet. Maybe your funding's high, open interest is, you know, obviously getting raised at the minute anyway, but I'm not too fussed about open interest really, because as we crack these all-time highs and go for price discovery, you're gonna get high open interest, right? You're just gonna get it. You just need to, you know, deal with it. What I'm looking for any exits or any bigger short positions would be simple, heavy supply. I'm not going to do it now, but scroll back if you're on the console to when we hit, last time we hit 110. Okay, or 109 or whatever. Okay, the last time we hit an all-time high, the aggressive supply on that level was phenomenal. It was just ridiculous, and I think I was on a live session saying, I don't care that we're at 110. This is a good short, and I know a couple of the lads struck on that one while the iron was hot, and did well off it. So yeah, to call it like it is, we'll go through a couple of exchanges. I'm not going to concentrate on volume too much because we are in a strong trending market. You know, you can look at volume for your exhaustion and then maybe a reset if the open interest comes down, but I can't really call bearish divergences in this, because what we're doing, we're just kind of like floating up. Then you'll get a quiet session, like the European session might be a bit quiet, so your volume comes down a little bit. Let me show you that. So your volume comes down a little bit in the European session, but it might just come down, reset with open interest, and then you volley back up. So I've got no edge in the volume right here, right now. I guess the only thing to say is that, yeah, I think retail are a little bit priced out here, to be honest, and still not in the market. So when these guys start top buying, you know, just start smashing the green button and top buying, that's maybe going to be a little bit of exit liquidity for you. Max says, I still have the opinion that the risk reward for a short is not good enough, for there is no catalyst. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah, funding's chilled. You know, funding's chilled. I posted that earlier. Let's go through the bid ask first. I think that's going to be the most important here, isn't it? Let's go through what moves the market. Okay, market bid and ask, limit bid and ask secondary. So let's have a look at that. So look, you can see you're in some supply now, right? So you can see you're in some supply, so that's fine. So if you get a violent little dip like yesterday's, is that the one you want to bid? It probably is. And anywhere below the all-time high and daily open is going to be value, isn't it? Okay, so Bitfinex supply, Bitstamp supply, actually double band supply there, not just showing up because I've got it on a 60 ratio, because I'm on a 15-minute chart. If I went to a lower time frame, it would show. Coinbase Pro, okay, negative ratios, not too heavy for spot, and their first level of selling is actually 114, but I'm seeing a lot of confluence at 120. And I think that lines up, tell me if I'm wrong, with some classic TA as well. It certainly does on my weekly chart that I just posted out on Twitter. I'll go to that in a second for you. So yeah, anywhere up here, 118, 120, I think could be a nice finale. Maybe not a finale. I'm not going to say, you know, for however long years or whatever, but you know, maybe even if it's just a month or so. You know, I'm of the frame of mind you probably not right now, not right now, but you know, you're gonna get that range again, like we keep getting. You know, you're gonna get that range again, and when we get those ranges, they're good to play. and we see who wants it more. So that's why I absolutely love ranges. You know, it's that battle, isn't it? Who wants it more? Okay, that was nice to see from Coinbase Pro yesterday, wasn't it? Right at towards the middle of the European session. I didn't notice that one actually. Yeah, it's nice to see. Right, so Gemini, we can have a look at them. Yeah, top level at 120 as well. Okay, you're gonna just see a bit of a theme going on here. Kraken, very, very bid. Nice to see them stepping in there at 110 actually. Very, very bid. So just around that resistance to potential support level at 110. I don't think KuCoin are too involved here, to be honest. So then we have a look at CoinM. Okay, so CoinM with a slight bid there. I don't think it'll be anything too big. No, not too big. 16 million, that's not big juice nowadays, really. But yeah, they had a nice push yesterday. And then let's have a look at the Kingmakers, Binance Perps. They're still bid. They're still bid. So although I'd love a pullback, like Max just says in the chat, I'm not up for shorting this at the minute. I'm more of the frame of mind, like I have been actually for the past 3 or 4 weeks, to play the trend while it's been strong. Okay, if you're of the opinion you do want to hedge your position over the last couple of weeks, that's fine in the range and conditions that we had last week. But I'm more inclined to say, yeah, I don't want to short this because, you know, it can just do that. I'd rather if it does fall and we get a bit of value anywhere below the daily open, then we'll have a look for doing a bit of business. And that's it for Bitcoin, really. As I say, I haven't got too much edging volume right here, right now. Open interest is high. It's going to get high here. We can have a look at funding, and then we're moving on to some other stuff. So what I posted on XL, so you can see we're going to get these rises in open interest. If I just go to, I think if I go to a 1 hour, I might have to go to a 4 hour, actually. Right, let's scroll back, let the data load. Okay, and then you can just see, okay, if anyone's new, I know you're all not, okay, I know you're all pretty much OGs in here, okay, but excuse the messy chart at the top. What we've got here is a bid ask, and then we've got volumes here, okay, not trade entry stuff, just an absolute overview of who is moving the market. But what I just wanted to point out very, very quickly, because I'm not a trader that would look at funding for entry and exits. They are just warning signs. They are pieces of the puzzle. They are just ingredients to bake the cake, aren't they? Okay, last time we hit the 110 zone, this was your funding. Very, very extravagant. Everyone was getting absolutely saucy, weren't they, saying, yep, this is it, 200k. The supply in there was ridiculous. We all thought it was a good risk-reward short, okay, and it turned out it was. So high funding, extreme open interest up there, 3.5 billion. So you could maybe say on your open interest, that's your top parameter at the minute, okay, or what you hit previously. I've got a feeling we will crack that and go a lot higher in open interest. 2.63 at the minute. So if you just imagine you've got another billion to go, funding has got a long way to go, okay. So as long as price is moving up, as long as traders, futures traders are getting paid, okay, they're not going to care too much about this kind of funding. When it gets really, really hot, and if anyone's trading some big volume or they've got big positions on, yes, they're probably going to just take a little bit of, they're going to take a slice of the cake, aren't they, if they've done well, and probably reduce a little bit of that. But just wanted to just point that out to you and show you that. Liquidity chart, if we have a look at the liquidity chart, am I on a 4 hour there? Yep, 4 hour. We're still not quite in the red zone on the perpetuals, okay, so this is our red zone up here, our top boundary. Again, 2.5 billion there is our top parameter for the perps liquidity. You know, perps getting very, very fruity, we'll call it. Okay, spot market 1.9 to 2 billion. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. We've got room to go. Open interest getting hot. Okay, your open interest can get reduced both ways, can't it? Okay, you only need to wipe out a few longs, a few shorts, whoever's left in the market. I'm not sure if anybody's still short up here, and your open interest will drop anyway and get a little reset, and we just carry on. All right, so just want to point a few of those out. I think a lot of metrics are looking fairly chilled still. That's all I would say. And that's not to say that you can't still get volatility in here, because the higher we go into price discovery, your books are going to get a little bit thinner. think, especially from spot. Let's have a look. What am I on there? Let me go to Binance USDT. Yeah, not too bad at the minute. Actually, they were thinner yesterday. I think they were a little bit thinner yesterday. But yeah, you're in thin air, aren't you? Okay, so you're gonna get these price swings. You're gonna get 1, 2, 3% each way within like 4-hour candles. You know, you just need to acknowledge that and be prepared for it. Do you get some gut wrenching dips that where people call it's over, but you can see in the data there's some bid and everything's looking pretty chill? So are those the one you want to lean into? Yes, that's all I'm saying at the minute. I think they probably are. Right, full window then. Yeah, so let's see what we get. Could be a full send today. Could be a full send. I'm not going to bet against that, hence why I wouldn't short this. I just think it'd be nice to get a little bit of it'd be nice and healthy to get a little dip and back test, wouldn't it? But is that too much to ask? What percentage are we looking for? I don't think it's much. It looks like about 2%, 1.5, 2%. Yeah, not bad, not bad. So I think that's Bitcoin. Obviously, because we are in price discovery, we don't have that many levels that we can look back at, you know, not like a classic TA chart when you're in a range or something. You know, you can't say this is my value area high, this is my low, that's the point of control. Yeah, fuck knows. You know, carry on as far as I'm concerned. But you know, if you were looking to play some alts, you might want that dip because there are some charts that still look nice. So with that being said, let's go and have a look at a couple of alts. Can't say I'm bothered about most of them, to be honest, but there are some good looking charts out there still. So yeah, look, ETH is in supply. So anywhere you cook it, I wouldn't be jumping in long on any of this shit. You know, like yesterday, this was ETH yesterday when BTC dropped. Okay, so that's just after the European session. I know that doesn't matter in crypto. It doesn't matter really, does it? Maybe there was a funding reset or something at this time. Timing wise, it doesn't matter too much, but you do tend to get these certain times of the day when certain volatility or volume kicks in and out of the market. This was ETH yesterday, so you got an ETH diamond. Okay, ETH then proceeded to drop, and I know a couple of the lads were shorting this, so really well done. 5.5%, right? And then you got an ETH diamond there. Really good risk reward, actually. Really good risk reward. Look at that top level there. Actually, God, I wasn't even looking at ETH, and maybe I should. All I would say is you want value here, don't you? Perps market is empty on ETH. If you have a look at this, no one's bidding ETH in the perps market unless it drops another 5-10%. Maybe they miss out. Okay, what is nice to see on ETH is dynamic spot bid following price up. So if you remember BTC over the last week or so, okay, so if you can get down here, that's good. I don't know if you will get down here today. That's a hell of a move. We might have done if SBF was still in control of the sell button. 5%. Yeah, not sure we get down there today. It might be the case that these limit bids have to come in and start chasing price up. Poor ETH, yeah. Sin says sell your ETH and 2x BTC until winter with it max. Yeah, exactly. I would, do you know, yeah, I would absolutely agree with you. So that's ETH. I still don't like the 4-hour chart on ETH. I hope it does well. The order books are getting a bit better. I'd like to see this bid come in. Not much depth of book at the minute. And actually, if you are looking at ETH, you really need to concentrate on Binance. The other exchanges are a bit shit. Sol looks very similar. Okay. Supply, and this is quite heavy supply. So this is some of the heaviest supply we've seen on Sol in a while. So you have got a little bit of people exiting spot at 180. Okay, or looking to exit at 180. Again, it's far away. You're not going to get there in one clip, and we've already been there last week, 160. Okay, so 160 was your trend. Okay, was the actual 4-hour trend line up.com. Really nice from Sol. Good books on Sol. And again, very strong trending market. If you trade in spot, obviously everyone's a little bit different. Maybe just hold. If you're trading derivatives, don't always treat these as shorts, okay? Maybe just a bit of TP, okay? Maybe you're long and you TP, okay? So that's salt. I don't think there's much to say in perps. Depth coming in there, so bid depth coming in for any dips. That's nice. Sue. So let's have a look at what Sue's doing then. Yeah, it's a shame really, because Sue has been smashing supply. I think to trade it, day trade, it's been very, very good. We go to a 5 minute, see if there's any levels coming in. Yeah, I think day trades have been very, very good. I said to the lads yesterday, I think this is one of the best longs. I think it was either Sin or Max pointed it out as well, actually. So really, really good. And yeah, just a shame that it's got a hack. I think it'll still be a good buy, to be honest, down here. If you can get some value into the 3.6 level there, I think that would be very, very, very good. We can go and have a look at the trading view chart and just see where that takes us. But really, in these kind of events, your classic TA isn't going to do shit when it's selling off because of a hack. So you can buy spot at what you believe is value, okay, and you're probably going to do very well out of it. If you're wanting to trade this shit on perps, just be a little bit more careful, all right? Very, very lightly. So here's Sue. So I said to the lads earlier, I hope it comes down again. That would be nice because I wouldn't mind bidding it. And then it got hacked, right? And funnily enough, the last coin that I looked at ages and ages ago and thought, oh, that looks good for a bid. And I'll show you a comparison of what happened when it got, was it a hack? Was Hype. Okay, so I'm not drawing comparisons really because it's a very, very different chart. But this was Hype. Okay, so it took a while to recover. But then if you found value down here at $11 on Hype, it's been absolutely uponly.com ever since. Yeah, absolutely up only. I even drew myself a trend line there that it's recovered and bounced up from. So really, really good. So just to say that I think Sue is still a good asset, to be honest, and I think it will do well. Just don't get chewed up on the lower time frame. You know, up, range. Sue does get volatility, yeah? Range kind of down, up, range. This trend line looked really, really good. So that was your long. That was your long yesterday. Up, okay. Hack, sellers, yep, fine. So either we kind of start to recover this trend line, which would be a bit classic TA, wouldn't it? I'm not sure if we get that. Now that we are down here, I wonder if it'd be very, very, very nice, crypto gods, to have another little whipsaw down, take that wick up 3.5 and then up. Yeah, I think that'd be really, really nice. And funnily enough, and again, you don't always get what you want, but where are we seeing the bid? 3.5. Okay, so this Sue could take a little bit of time here. I'm not sure if it's going to V-shape up. If you look at the bid that was on it yesterday, and we got 3 alerts warning you, saying, okay, and that's what the alert should be used for, telling you that you were in demand zone again and you were up. So good trading all around there. Right here, right now, it's looking a bit thin. No one's committing right under price. So yeah, not sure, to be honest. Maybe just leave that alone a little bit because it could easily just chop here, you know, for the next 24 hours. You know, who knows? Who knows? I've got no edge on it right here, right now. I've got edge there. Oops, I'm drawing myself a top level again. Let me go back and show you the charts. So you've got edge down here. Okay, demand zone, okay, back to the trend, up, maybe take profit, okay, getting sold into. Big push up there, down here, I've got edge there, I've got edge in trading that. Right here, right now, you know, unless you get me a telephone line to the network and the liquidity providers who are, you know, I've got no edge right here, right now on Sue, so I'm gonna have to just leave it alone a little bit. Right, give us a shout if we need to have a look at anything else. Robin says BNB, the Cabal coin, the Illuminati Cabal coin, uponly.com. The only thing I'd say about BNB is you quite often, it's a bit of a stable coin, to be honest, and you'll hit these supply zones. Now, if this was another asset, I'd probably short the shit out of it.
but because it's BNB, not sure. You can short it, and you've got if you think we're going to get a bit of downturn in the market, you can short BNB with 2.2 2.5% stop. But I would use only a little bit of capital, to be honest, because more often than not, I've seen BNB in this kind of supply, and it sits in this supply for like 48 hours or a week. It's so slow. It's so slow. And with it being an exchange coin, more of a network coin now, I think it's probably more likely to be uponly.com. If you look at what how the perps market have been pushing BNB, if people are still, I don't know if they are, but if people are still, we've hit this second time we've hit this area as well, actually. If people are still getting incentivized on Binance for using BNB, which I don't know if they are, I haven't used Binance in years, to be honest, then there's nothing wrong with selling spot BNB here. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Probably selling spot BNB and putting it into SU. Do you know what I mean? Maybe not, because this wall's been here for ages. But yeah, that just to say that, nothing wrong with them selling spot here. Does that mean you should short BNB on derivatives? Maybe not. There might be another coin, because even if BTC drops here, BNB doesn't necessarily drop. I don't think the correlation is that good, to be honest. Sue is reacting always on round numbers, does it? Yeah, I mean, Sue's brilliant to trade. It just is. Yeah, it is. I think if you are looking for a short, E4 Sol, stick to those. Because BNB it'll go sideways forever, to be honest. Yeah, probably. Sonic Labs, I know they just had an announcement for a liquidity provider. Funnily enough, that coincides with, isn't it funny how Sonic Labs have just had a liquidity provider announcement when Sue gets hacked. Interesting timing, that Sonic Labs. Very well done. It's still a good 4-hour chart on S. Really, really good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which it has, to be honest. It has, but you're not too close to it at the minute. 1.7. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, to be honest, I know some people do, and some people like to hedge positions all day long. I'm more relaxed. If price is going to fall in such a strong trending market, I'd rather chill out. I'll let it fall. I'll let it come to demand. I'll bid it back up. It's so much more relaxing to play like that. You don't have to go long, short. Oh shit, I missed this short. Oh, now it's long. Don't fucking worry about it. Just chill. Have your bias, have your plan in place. Where do you want to bid? If it comes to that level, where do you want to TP? And that's the way. This is the way. Right, what's DeFi doing? DeFi is uponly.com. Nice alerts from CRV. We'll run through a couple of others, but give us a shout if there's anything you need to look at. We can look at higher time frame charts as well. Some of them still look very good. Aave had an absolute steamer of a day yesterday, didn't it? Over the last, absolute steamer. Yeah, not much edging it. Sometimes these DeFi coins are just uponly.com. Watching ZRO, because obviously one of you guys pointed it out the last live session, and the 4-hour chart is still very nice. Pushing up from those lows, there's your value area highs there of the 4-hour range, and still no breakout yet. So I'm waiting to see if ZRO gets some aggressive bid under it, hence why it's near the top of my watch list. So not too fussed for it really, unless it giga nukes, and then I'll bid it. Or if the bid gets really, really, really aggressive, someone just steps in and just goes, yeah, this is it, we're going to send it. And then that's what I kind of call an anomaly in the order books that you see. It's like, yeah, someone's had enough, this is going up. And then get involved with it. Right, Rune has been on an absolute flyer as well. Rune 4-hour chart looks like it's going absolutely parabolic at the minute. Again, this is why you shouldn't be market buying. Do you really want to market buy up here? No, wait for it to come back to value. DOT looked great yesterday. It's just such a slow mover. But if you... And the higher time frame chart on DOT is shit as well, to be honest. It's been down only. .com. Other coins are taking the limelight off them, aren't they? But I've said it time and time again, if you just want to trade, you know, daily, you know, just quick moves, DOT is very, very good. Look at this. You know, it was a really, really nice one yesterday. It has a good order book, just to say that. Is Pepe going to infinity? Yeah, it is. So Pepe is smashing its levels on the way up. Nice to see. Not much edge right here, right now, but just to say that these top levels, it's nice to see them. And you're on the spot market here, okay? And the top levels are looking really, really good, following price up. So a trending market. Is it still doing good volume? Yeah, and Pepe number 4, top 4. Volume delta in the last 24 hours. So really, really good. TRX is still up there. I wonder if people are using it to for transfers or something. Yeah, I'd never trade it. I just wonder if people are using TRX for transfers. It's really low fees, isn't it? Really, really. What's that window there? Oh, yeah, I kept this open just for this. Yeah, so Cetus, or however you pronounce that, main LP provider for DEX on Suit, allegedly hacked 11 million in Suit drained from Suit USDC pool, with most tokens down 75%. As pools are emptied. Yeah, madness. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Always when the chart looks really, really nice and bullish and trending, and yeah, you get some shit like that happening. But I think it's probably going to give you a little bit of value, to be honest, anyway, just to say that. Bonk, uponly.com. What's Brett doing? I'd like Brett a little bit lower, please, because Brett on a daily chart looks really, really, really good. Some of these memes, if they've got a messy chart like this, just literally get yourself a daily chart and have a look at the daily levels on shit like this, because they trade so cleanly. Absolutely. Really, really clean. So if you just have a, you know, just literally, I know you lot know this, but I'm just for anyone. Look at how clean some of these daily levels are, and how they coincide with others. Really nice, and I like the reclaim. Looks a little bit different if you look on DEX. I just like the way it's popping back. Brett, okay, trending market once again. Yeah, okay, you could say on a lower time frame, is this going to be a lower high? No, fuck off. It's going to infinity. I like the way it's reclaiming these really old daily levels at this 0.7. So looking for a push up on that one. Really, really nice chart. Really nice chart. Let me go back. Yeah, Perps market's diabolical here. Unfortunately, we just don't have the spot market. I'm not sure if they've got one on Brett, to be honest. Hot air rising, yeah, absolutely. So if you look at this diagonal line here, this was the trend line that it was actually battling on the 4-hour chart for Altcoin. There you go, 4-hour chart. So deviations below, very, very valid. You know, on coins like this, deviation below, but for the higher time frame, yeah, uponly.com, isn't it? On Altcoin, hot air truly does rise. Your new financial freedom asset is with you, and it's called Altcoin. Any of us I'm looking at? Yeah, give us a shout. I need to have a look at any of us. We'll flick through a couple more. Doge books are empty. Everyone's moved on to other stuff. TRB. I'm interested in keeping an eye on TRB because it's got this nice spot demand lower. So it looked good here the other week and did fill a bit of spot demand back up. But it seems like everybody on Binance Spot is still very much interested in it. Okay, so keep an eye on TRB. And I do have to say that Teller, TRB, is the type of coin that I have seen do 100 and 200% moves in 24 hours before. So it's always one that I keep an eye on. In the screen, I always keep an eye on what kind of volume it's doing in the screen, or if it pops in with a strong bid ask and I see TRB at the top of any of these screeners here, then I have a look at it. You know, again, it's an anomaly in the books. What's going on? You have a look at the chart and then you decide yourself, do I want to put a bit of risk on there or not? So Doge is not too good. Boom, meme. Why am I looking at that? It's doing really, really good volume along with a couple of other memes. OM had a massive... This is a funny one, this. I won't go into details. Anyway, this is the order books are getting a little bit good again. So, and I like the fact it's not just giga nuking. So if this team have still got something going on, like I said on the last live session, when we were back here, then maybe have a look at it. It's more often than not when perps get involved like that there, you want to have a look for these really, really big walls on it. Not necessarily when it's just got a flood of demand like that. It looks a little bit like a puke, doesn't it? You know, it's not necessarily just going to do a rocket send just from this very, very strong bid. It doesn't react like that. It prefers when you get these big walls on it, and if you get some nice spot demand on it as well, then that's even better. I don't know what that entity was doing there, but keep an eye on OM. Again, you know, if the project is still valid, and you imagine that this came from $7, it's now at 0.4, have a look at it. AVAX, uponly.com, nice slow grind up. XRP, Lizard Coin, nice alert from XRP there again yesterday. So, you know, this is the kind of thing you get. BTC drops 2%. Altcoins, obviously, are going to do a little bit worse. Okay, they're going to drop 3, 4, 5%. Bang, straight down, alert. Have a look at the chart. Grinds up. Don't look as good as Sue, but, you know, moving up. So really, really nice. Dash, slowly moving away from that range low that we looked at, obviously, the other week. Trump, not a lot to say on Trump. Let's go through a couple of others, then we can drop in the chat and see what you guys are looking at. RV and CRV for DeFi, yeah, definitely. And they trade really, really well. What am I looking at here? Dog with hat. Yeah, dog with hat, back up to $1. Obviously, cracking $1 over the last few days. Again, this is why you have to, in a strong trending market, this is why you be careful with supply. Or you don't be careful, you know, if you're trading perps down here, okay, if you're trading perps down here and you're long, maybe that's just a TP1, okay, it's not necessarily a short the market, okay, you can use these zones for a little bit of TP, maybe you tighten your risk, you smash that supply, and maybe you're still in the trade, and it's onwards and upwards, you know. Say an OP, yeah, bottom of my list. I think they're good projects. I think they'll be slow movers. Maker, massive supply above, so leave that alone for now. LTC, since it got rebranded as a meme coin, doing very, very well. Yeah, we'll do what the rest of the market is doing, to be honest. Biggest offers 105 in coincides with BTC, doesn't it? Yeah, so let's have a look at BTC then, and we can go over some other stuff. That's generally my watch list. If you guys have got anything else you need me to look at, then give me a shout, certainly. Let me just see if Brett's pulling back. Yeah, not bad, Brett. Thank you very much. What's Sue doing? Yeah, this is it for Sue. I'm going to keep an eye on Sue. Lower the better now. Now that it's doing this, lower the better. No hurry whatsoever. Let it work out the kinks, let it come down if it needs to, and you know, we'll have a look at doing a bit of business. BTC is considering we are half an hour into the US session, very, very calm, very, very calm, isn't it? So yeah, it's nice to see it. Trading slow, trading technically, okay, technical levels holding well. I think it was 104 was our first area that we looked at holding on the last live session. Where was that? Was that there? Yeah, maybe that was at the last live session. I think so, because Doffy was laughing because every time I'm live, it calls the key point of the low or the high or reversal point or whatever. I think Doffy was laughing at me in Discord. Yeah, I think we were looking at 104 holding. Okay, so we obviously had, it's obviously when we look at stuff like that, we consider things, don't we? So I think I posted like 6 a.m. in the Discord. 104, attack all-time high. But what we had to consider last time was, can we just go and get some of that bid? Yeah, that's what we were looking at last time. But nice to see it. Let's not, you know, have a look back in hindsight. Let's not LARP on. This is where we are. If you've just joined, welcome in. TRDR Trader Console, grab a link from below. Yeah, price discovery. Let's see what we get. Drop in the chat if you've got any questions regarding the console or anything. As usual, this isn't an agony aunt lesson. I don't care about your girlfriend or boyfriend troubles. But if you've got any issues, or well, you won't have any issues because the console is perfect. But if you've got anything that you're struggling to create, alerts you're struggling to create or anything, then give us a shout and we can have a look together. No real bid alerts at the minute, so let's see if we can come down and push this daily open again down here. That'd be really good. You know, steady market. I don't know if we'll get to that 106 again, you know. I don't know, obviously, but I just think the market's looking very calm. If we go to let's have a look at BTC on a nice clean chart. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's in price discovery. You could call this a lower time frame. I'm not going to call it a parabola, but yeah, the dips are going to be quick. That was yesterday's dip. Right into the weekly open, right wicked onto the order block and up. That's probably how it's going to be now. So I think anywhere under 109, you have to have a little look at the data and ask yourself, is this going to be value, you know? Right, stock market pretty neutral. That's good to see, to green, because it has been red for the last 2 days, actually, hasn't it? Yeah. If anyone knows when the next TradingView offers are coming out, let me know, because I want to get one of their bundles. I don't know when the next coming out, to be honest. Right, let's come down then. ETH. Yeah, and this is the thing as well, isn't it? So you could sit, and this is why you never chase price action, because you see BTC coming down here a little bit. So you could say to yourself, okay, so I'm seeing that ETH's in a little bit of supply. Right, well, yeah, but actually ETH's, you know, it wants a little bit higher, doesn't it, you know? So never look at this and say, I think Bitcoin's going down, so I'm going to short and all. It doesn't always work like that. So just be careful. And as I say, that's why I like to relax a little bit more. You know, if you don't press any buttons for even the next 4 hours, fine. You know, absolutely fine with that, you know. But I do have to say, Sol, if you're looking at hedging a position, it's probably Sol up here, because that is a hefty level. Let's go to a 5 minute. Yeah, that's a chunky level. It is a chunky level. So Sol's probably the one. If you're looking for any day trade shorts, I would say Sol. I don't think I've seen any else, but we can have a look at the screener. So on the bid side of the screener, I'm not too fussed for Perps market, because the Perps market is in ultra bull, right? And so I don't care too much for looking at the screen at the minute on the bid side. Really, what I will be looking at over the coming days is what kind of open interest rises have we had? Is anything had an absolute ridiculous open interest rise? Maybe it's due to come down. You know, you can consider funding as well. You know, you know, if you're trading any assets, get a funding comparison. You know, bonk is quite high there. Yeah, stuff like that, really. I just think when you're in a trending, raging bull market, the Perps market's always going to get bullish. And more often than not, they're going to be a little bit early and get used as liquidity. Bid side from spot is not bad. It's nice to see OM creeping up there. But actually, it's only a 30 ratio. Yeah, bid side from spot, this is pretty dead. So over the last week or so, in my top, how many have I got in here? 15 or whatever. This has been pretty solid over 60 ratios, 60 positive 60 ratio on most coins. Pretty quiet. And why is that? Well, everything's moving up. So, you know, unless you get someone really, really chasing the spot market, you know, it's not this section's not going to light up too much. But because we've seen sol in supply, and if you were inclined to hedge a short position or even scalp a short position, let's have a look at supply. So what's in supply? Some of these are the usual characters. So there we see BNB. We've already had a look at that, haven't we? Negative 76 ratio. And then really everything drifts off a little bit. You could have a look at the 2.5 to 5. Dent, metal, dustband. Yeah, I'm just not too fussed about any of those, to be honest. So we'll leave that for a second. Not too much I'm seeing on the screener. Right, what's going on in the chat? BTC Coin M is always nice. Yeah, it is, to be honest. Let's have a look at that. It is. Yeah, they want a piece of the action here, don't they? I mean, they could hold it. Sorry, I don't think they do the kind of volume. 27 million. It's not that much in today's market, you know. STX perp double bands. Let's have a look at that. Ooh, that's nice. That's quite nice from STX. Let's have a look at the chart. You TA nerds. Let's have a look at the chart then, as always. Yeah, nice. Because it is, what's it doing? It's been ranging for a while. So I know it's been I'm going to have to look at a 1 hour chart, 'cause if I look at a 4 hour, because of this freaking wick, it really skews the data. STX, yeah. And STX always moves really, really nice with BTC, doesn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. My STX, so, yeah, could be the one. So, yeah, 4 hour chart. It's trending. Obviously, it'd be nice if it came back to the daily open. So let's remember that number, 9.934, right? But it's trending. It's got a long way to go. STX moves really, really well with BTC. 4 hour looks good. Daily chart. It's got a long way to go, hasn't it? It could be a giga bid. Absolute giga bid, couldn't it, on STX? And that's what I'm kind of trying to say about these anomalies. You know, when you see this kind of thing, these orders, it's a very, very good risk-reward trade, yeah? So if BTC wants to hold that level and STX holds this level, then we could be in for a little bit of business, can't we? It could be looking good in the hood. So, yeah, maybe Sol for your short. STX, I would say, is looking good for the long side. So, yeah, give us a shout if there's anything I need to look at or anything I'm missing. And as I say, if there's anything in the chat or anyone in the chat as well that needs me to look at anything on the console, yeah, give us a shout. Monero's run at Adil. What's up, Adil? Yeah, I've not looked at Monero in a while, actually. Let me have a look at it for you, sir. Alex says, in my eyes, too greedy crowd on BTC. Good to punish longs. 106.6. 106? Where would that take us? Is that my... Fuck off. We're not going there. What are you on about, Alexi? You're dreaming. Sailor's bidding this right now. You know he is. You know Sailor's bidding this right now. Yeah, look, I tell you what, it won't... I don't know. I observe the market as it goes. As we keep saying, double D. Keep it dynamic. Okay, I'm not going to say, yeah, we're going to 120 next or we're going to 100k next. We watch the data as it happens. So we keep double D, we keep discretionary, we keep dynamic. My first port of business is going to be if we can get to the daily open, then I'll have a look for another little bounce up, you know, just scalpy day trades, whatever. And what is that? It's resistance to potential support, yeah. 106 back to the weekly open. Yeah, I don't know. Is that whale on Hyperliquid adding any more liquidity to his chart? Maybe he is. Monero. Let's have a look at Monero then. Let's have a look at Monero. What do I want to look at? It doesn't really matter. I've got the, oh, holy shit, look at that. Wow. Yeah, if anyone caught that earlier, that's an absolute fire and forget long. I don't know. Is this because, are they clamping down on privacy coins? I don't, you guys tell me. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. We don't have the spot market for Binance because did they take it off? Which is then crazy to think that they've got a perps market and they're absolutely bidding it up. What's the 4 hour look like then? Holy shit. Wow. Adil, yeah, I don't know, mate. You tell me. I'm not too up on my privacy coins, but that is ridiculous. Now, the trouble is, I'm saying that was a long. Look how high it is on a 4 hour. But I'm talking derivatives. Like, if you're on a 5-minute chart and you see this, right, and you see that, that is a fire and forget long, right? That's an absolute, even for scalps, right? Your risk is like 1%, right? And we all know now that sometimes this ends up being liquidity, and you might get 1 bounce, you might get 2 bounce, and then suddenly, especially on altcoins, okay, Monero could be different, you'll get that, right? And it'll just nuke this and take it as liquidity. So yeah, keep an eye on it. But yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? It looks as if it's uponly.com. Yeah, interesting. So STX could be developing to look like that. So I would keep an eye on STX, because what you see here on STX is like what XMR just looked like. Yeah. So what you want to see is you want to see this level hold. Yeah. Maybe BTC comes down. Maybe this holds here. You know. You want to execute in and around here if you can. Okay. And this is and this is it. This is it. Of course, as always with altcoins, if the market nukes, or even if BTC does a, oh Jesus, what have I done here? If BTC does a 2% drop, this could drop 4%. But what percentages have we got here? Let's just eyeball that. So I mean, this is becoming a long already. But for me, what I would do is go to the 1 minute chart and start eyeballing entries real close to this level. Some people call it gridding or limit ordering in and around here. It could be a really nice one. So what did I say that level was? Where's the daily open? Let's reset that. So daily open 934. 934. Bull flag. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get down to that. Bull flags everywhere. Bull flags everywhere. I don't know if we'll get down to that 934. Let's go back. What price are we at? I really should remember this, really, shouldn't I? 934. It could do some of that. Take all that liquidity. You think it's over and then we're back. I've seen that many times on altcoins as well. But yeah, keep an eye on STX, because as I say, STX runs really well with BTC. So if BTC has a little drop and then finds bid and then runs up again, this is the best long I've seen. New fresh derivatives trade long today. STX, keep an eye on that one. Bottle of whiskey on Soonest 1066. Yeah. Sin says Sue hackers want clean tokens. Wow, what's going on? Yeah, keep us informed. Well, at least we're going sideways and not nuking anymore. But I just think there's going to be value a little bit lower, to be honest. So that's going to be nice. What's BTC doing? Chopping, isn't it? And this is the thing, sometimes if you don't get a move in the first hour or so of the US session, just give it a little bit of time. More often than not, it's been like a couple of hours after, so usual thing if that. But unlike the last live session, I'm not going to do that, because I'm not interested whatsoever in shorting price discovery unless it's very insane supply, open interest funding, like we looked at earlier, you know, just I'm not interested whatsoever. Is Brett moving back up? Not too much. What's Pepe doing? Let's check the alerts. BTC Euro top levels. Ooh, the Euros want a little bit lower. Well, to be honest, everyone's absolutely broke over here. We don't have the kind of dollarinos that the US guys have, so I'm not surprised to see Euro pause, and that is me included. I'm a Euro paw, selling some BTC, to be honest, and they are really selling. Look at this on Coinbase Euro as well. Fucking hell. Yeah, but to be honest, it probably is only going to take one Chad American USA guy or Asian guy to just blast through and go, yep, I can have some of that probably. These charts, the Euro charts, are worth keeping an eye on. To be honest, they are worth keeping an eye on. I think these guys are dreaming down here. I know the rate's obviously a little bit different, but I think they're dreaming down there. I don't think we get that violent of a pullback, to be honest. I think everything's looking very nice and orderly. Even this yesterday, even that, like the hammer there, I've not drawn that on. That's part of the alert system, okay? And that alert was our liquidity and RSI metric. If anyone wants that, I can share it. It just gives me an indication of the market running a little bit hot. But yeah, even after that violence yesterday, you know, it was basically back to business, wasn't it? So yeah, let's see what we get. Right, what else is going on in the chat? So covered Monero, covered BTC, yeah, RV and CRV, uponly.com. Yeah, all looking okay, just nice and orderly. You know, spot ratios like this, should you be surprised to see people selling a bit of spot on the way up? No, not really. They're well within the rights, aren't they? Especially if they bought the dip back in the late 70s or 80Ks. They've done very, very well. Paid for their holiday to Portofino this summer, haven't they? Or wherever they're going. Oh, Mother's Milk. Sorry, Mother's Milk. Didn't see you there. Opinion for LS ratio being so low on Bitty. Sorry, Mother's Milk. You asked it twice. Yeah, I didn't see. Let's have a look. I think I've got LS ratio inverted. Yeah, I have. So is this what we're all seeing? Tell me if you're not. 0.46. I don't know. I don't know, which is terrible. I should be able to answer the question for you, shouldn't I, and have an opinion on that. So yeah, we've got, yeah, if anyone is in the LS, but by the way, if you are looking at LS ratios, I don't think the aggregation LS ratio works, and I don't think it's anything really to do with the console. I think it's more to do with, I might be wrong here, but the proper data not being provided. Binance provide true data for the LS ratio, or as much as they tell us, all right? So if you're looking at aggregated LS ratio and it's not working, okay, it flatlines, don't, right? Go to a normal LS ratio and I'll just have a look at Binance, all right? That's your data, okay? Yeah, I think that's obviously, must be how they get the data, isn't it? Tell you what, what we're doing on STX, yeah. Is it going up only.com? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that one. Let's have a look. What I was gonna do is just put a clean LS ratio on. Sentiment, long shorts, ratios. All right, I just want to put a clean one on. Let me just refresh that. LS, right. Perpetuals. I'm not going to look at futures. Binance USDM, quote asset. Let's just go USDT settlement. Quote USDM, not coin M. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I'm getting the same there, which I am. I don't know. Higher time frame. Yeah. Look, if you were just to go by this, you would say shorts, wouldn't you? Which is why I have it on the Volume King. But it's just one piece of the puzzle. Okay. And it's been read all the way up. It's been read all the way up. Not sure. Not sure. I don't have too much edge on it higher time frame. To be honest, I'm not gonna make predictions based off it or use it as edge or alpha. Really, you know, it was green all the way down here. The only way I use it, obviously, is on Volume King. If you're unfamiliar with that, go check out the video, because I like to see, obviously, the cluster up here of the high open interest funding and stuff. But even then, it's just one piece of the puzzle. Just one piece of the puzzle. Yeah, sorry, I've got no strong opinion on LS ratio. I just don't, I'm afraid. Morpheus, is Morpheus our resident LS ratio expert? Eddie's a bit of an LS ratio expert as well. So Swaps says Binance LS ratio hit a record low of -72% net short when BTC hit record high. The range is so wide now. The high was 85% net. Right. So maybe, yeah. So what I would say is maybe we need to put some parameters on it, I would say. So you could almost add it. Long shorts ratios. Right, you could almost add it higher time frame. You twat. Yes, I'm in Safari still. Right, you could add it here. And what I would do is Binance. I'm gonna just go USDT. I'm not sure who. I think USDT is still biggest. Despite the fact. Oh right, it's off USDT anyway. Despite the fact certain Euro countries can't use it. And then I normally look at totals. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not bothered for what top traders are doing, because we are all top traders, so I don't give a shit what they're doing. They should be following us, right? So I never look at that. If you're looking at that, you're lagging the move, basically. Top trader positions, no, don't give a flying fuck about that either. Right, so I would look at totals. I would put it to maybe a histogram or something, right? Line, histogram. Do I like that? Anyway, I'm not going to save this. Right, histogram. Right, and then something. Then you want to draw yourself some parameters, don't you? So then if we go like 4 hour, I would, if it's hitting historical low points, then you haven't got a good edge in saying, if we're hitting historical low points here, you've got no edge in saying you know where it is. But all I'm gonna say is I would do this and have a look back historically, and then put your. I'm gonna have to frigging refresh that again. I don't know why it does that. Excuse me. And then I would put yourself some parameters on. Really, really easy. So look, 0.41. Right. So at the minute, so just say 0.45. Yeah. So that's your lower bound. Upper bound is going to be a lot fruitier, isn't it? Call it 3. Call it 3. 3. Right? I would do that. And I would only look at this on a 4 hour basis or something. And then you might get some edge out of it. Yeah? And then you might get some edge out of it, because then you can draw a confluence with these lows here. So the long side there, right on that. Okay? Yeah. Or the short side, when was that one? They were wrong. They were wrong all the way through there, pretty much. It's a caution. It's just one piece of the puzzle, isn't it? You know, next time we put in an all-time high, whenever that is, or whatever price, pull this up, mark it on a 4 hour, and then go from there. That's all I would say. But yeah, at the minute for me, even on Volume King lower time frame, 15-minute and stuff, I've noticed it's been red for a long time. So obviously I've had not much edge in it, to be honest. But yeah, what are you laughing at, swaps? Yeah, degree in LS ratio. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Look, little bit of choppiness on BTC. Alts might do their own little thing. STX starting to look good. Okay. Don't just market buy it. Okay. Appreciate what Bitcoin's doing. Have a look at this level a little bit lower. It's already thinned out a little bit. If you're a bit of a degen and you go to the 1 minute, it's already thinned out a little bit. Bear in mind, you can penetrate through these walls, take the liquidity. Okay, remember the daily open was down at 943 or something, so just down here. So maybe you go take that and then up. Okay, I think Sol was a good short if this level holds, but like I say, BTC chopping around. ETH wants to go up. Sol wants to go up. Sue is actually rebounding nice, but I still think it's got a bit of choppiness. If you just look left, it's just hitting that price there. STX is probably the long. BNB is in supply, but it's just spot supply. It's not as if perps are saying end, you're going down. People selling some BNB, fair enough. Does it mean you have to short it on derivatives? No, probably not. So yeah, BTC, I still think we've got a long way to go. I think it can take a couple of weeks. Bear in mind, you're probably going to get another volley up to 120, and that could be quick, at some point. So for me, I'm still of the frame of mind of buying any dips, even if they are violent, and then play it for the long side. For any heavy shorts on BTC, as I say, go and have a look back at what 110 looked like the last time we hit the supply zone. It was absolutely mega, the supply zone on BTC. So yeah, look, if we can come down anywhere near the daily open or just below the daily open, we'll have a look down there. Same scenario as yesterday, really. Same sort of play. Do we get a bit of bid down there? Then have a look at any alts that you might be looking at. But yeah, alt season, don't really care. BTC is still dominant and probably will be for a little bit. All right, guys. So look, if there's any questions you've forgotten about, just drop in the Discord or the Telegram links below, Trader Discord or Telegram. Let's see if we can get a bid on BTC a little bit lower for that final volley up, maybe into the weekend. Something like that, okay? Don't be surprised to see a little bit of calmness here. It's what we get, don't we? We always get these violent moves. Then we get a little bit of range, and then we find a bid a bit lower. We wick that liquidity and then up. So let's see if we can get some of that. All right, guys, have a great day, and we will speak soon. Cheers.